This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. A little bit of a pedal review for you today. We're looking at this thing here. This is the Behringer DR600 digital reverb. 20 quid's worth of digital reverb pedal. The reason I decided to have a little bit of a look at this pedal is because I need a reverb pedal. As you may know, I've recently basically started using a little Marshall baby valve combo, the DSL1CR, which is kind of down there beside me and mic'd up, and that's what you're going to be hearing the guitar through today. Now, the amp has reverb on it, but it's not really to my liking, and let me explain why. I mentioned this in the amp review. Basically, if I kind of turn the reverb up to what is, I think, a pleasant kind of level for a clean tone. The way I'm getting a clean tone, by the way, is just rolling the guitar's volume off a little bit. I've got it sort of dialed into a nice kind of halo around the guitar tone. So let's hear what that sounds like. I'll just mute the vocal mic so you can hear what the amp reverb sounds like for this kind of tone. So that's, not a bad little reverb. It's a hall reverb, which, I prefer room reverb anyway, but let's see what happens to that reverb when I bring the guitar's volume control up to, to kind of go for a little bit more of a crunchy tone. So, I mean, the reverb becomes much more intense as you bring the guitar's volume control up. That is the way I use this amp. I have the classic gain channel, the volume on that channel cranked, and that gives you a lovely crunchy tone, which you can clean up from the guitar's volume. It's the way of getting the best clean tone out of this amp, to be honest with you. So, turn the reverb off on the amp. What we're going to do now is we're going to put the Behringer pedal on. Let's set everything to 12 o'clock. We've got three controls: level, which controls basically the amount of reverb you're getting; tone, how bright or dark the reverb sounds; and time, basically how long the reverb is, essentially. And you've got on this control here, you've got modulate, room, gate, hall, plate, and spring reverbs. Let's go round to the spring reverb and turn it on and see what kind of sound we get. That's a bit extreme, really, isn't it? For something where I've got the controls set to 12 o'clock, that would be, the kind of massive sounding reverb that you would expect, with everything absolutely maxed out. But that's everything only at 12 o'clock. And frankly, it's not a particularly pleasant sounding reverb either. It's the cheapness of the pedal becomes apparent when you have that much of the effect dialed in. Let's try the plate reverb, see what that does. I think that's about the right setting there. So let's hear the plate setting. Two observations. First of all, it doesn't really sound that different from the spring setting. There's not a lot of, you're not hearing that difference that you would expect to hear between a spring and a plate reverb. Let's go around to Hall. Oh, and the other thing is, yes, once again, far too heavy on the reverb. It's really laying it on with a trowel, isn't it, really? Let's go to the Hall setting, see what that does. Again, it's the cheapness of the pedal is apparent. It's not a particularly pleasant sounding reverb. It's got that sort of metallic, clanky kind of quality to it, which is not particularly pleasant. Gated reverb, let's see what that does. I don't think we'll be troubling that setting particularly. Let's go around to Room, which is the penultimate one, and see what kind of sound that gives us. Again, everything is suffused with that metallic, clanky, cheap sound. It's a cheap pedal, you know, it's what you do expect. Let's finally go around to this modulate setting and see what we've got there. Once again, exactly as we've discovered on the other settings, not a particularly usable tone. It's far too clanky and metallic and cheap sounding. And I'm also not noticing a massive amount of difference between the different settings on the pedal. All is not lost though, because you see, what I want to use a reverb pedal for is, the best way I can describe it is, do you remember, if you kind of remember the 70s in the UK, there used to be, probably still is, a brand of instant porridge oats called Ready Break, and the TV ad for it was always this, showing a kid walking to school on a dismal, dreary, rain-lashed winter's morning with the kind of glow around the child, because they've eaten Ready Break for breakfast and therefore they're immune from the cold. It's that kind of effect that I want around the notes that I'm playing on the guitar, just that kind of glow going on around it. And having had a mess around with the pedal, we can get that. What I need to do is turn the time down, turn the tone kind of to about there, and then the level, turn it all the way off, and then just gradually inch it in like this until I get, that's too much, that kind of sound. Let's mute the vocal mic and then you can hear what this is doing. Yeah, I should have mentioned I need to go to the room setting as well, so let's go to that and try that again. Yeah, that's kind of the setting I would use, and at that point there, it gives a fairly usable, pleasant, like that glow around the notes. Let's have a listen. There we go, that's the kind of tone I'm getting with those settings, and if I back the guitar's volume control off to clean it up, what happens? See, I've still got that nice kind of glow around the note. It's very subtle. Let's just compare the pedal off and the pedal on. So here's the pedal off. And the pedal on. A subtle halo, a subtle glow around the note. For 20 quid, I'm relatively pleased with this pedal. It does what I want it to do, which is to deliver that sort of slight bit of air around the notes and make it sound just that little bit more open and spacious. If you're after a pedal to give you big, luscious, kind of cavernous reverbs for playing, kind of surf guitar or that kind of stuff, then this probably isn't going to be the pedal for you. But for me, just running that in the effects loop of the Marshall DSL-1 CR, it does give the result I want, and I'm probably not going to be recording with it. The reason for that is, it could be any reverb pedal. I wouldn't record with it because I don't record with reverb. I always like to add sort of time-based effects and modulation-based effects, after I've recorded. That way I can change my mind. And also, let's face it, we all make mistakes from time to time when we're recording. And if you need to punch in and replace just a couple of bars or just a couple of notes in a solo, if you've recorded that solo with reverb on, when you chop out the offending wrong notes that you mistakenly played to replace them with the right notes, what happens is, as well as chopping out those notes, you're chopping out the reverb tails from the notes that preceded them, and it sounds immediately edited and contrived. So that's the reason I don't tend to record with reverb. What I use this pedal for is when I'm sat here blethering away into this webcam, doing Zoom lessons and kind of talk through bits in videos where I'm demonstrating things. I just want a little bit of reverb on the tone that's, kind of going onto the video, and that is doing precisely that. Once again, let's have a little bit of a listen to the way I'm going to be using this pedal. So starting with, kind of a sort of fairly crunchy plexi type tone. And then going to a cleaner kind of tone by rolling back the guitar's volume. You can hear it's still giving me, as I say, that bit of a glow around the notes, and that is essentially what I'm using this pedal for. So 20 quid's worth of Behringer DR600 pedal. Was it worth the 20 quid? Well, for me, yes, because I'm able to use it for exactly what I want to use it for. But buyer beware, if you're looking at wanting a much bigger reverb than I will be using, then this is not going to be the pedal for you. And there you have it. That is my review of the Behringer DR600 digital reverb pedal. Make of it what you will. If you've enjoyed the video and found it useful, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? Don't forget, as always, the live stream every Friday, 5 p.m. UK time, where we have a beer and talk music and guitars. What's not to like about that? Great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.